Okay, so I was gonna make an entire video about Doge and everything, but I figured I'd rather just do this live because I actually wanted to enjoy myself and watch SNL and watch Elon go on there. I made some notes on the side, which I will be referencing to occasionally, but let's take a quick look at the chart on Doge. And if I can move my OBS out of the way. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the chart on Doge. It dumped. And this week, I think I wanted to try something a little different. This is my friend. I don't know what you want to call yourself, but please introduce yourself. Don't give any personal information.
You can just call me D. The full name is Dmatakami, but I usually just go by D or Matakami. Just D is fine.
All right. So D is one of my friends for a little while now. He doesn't want anything to do with trading, and he's essentially what the crypto people call normies. But I've known him for a little bit, and I figured he'd be the perfect person to kind of like bounce back and forth on this because we just watched the SNL skit, and he's someone who doesn't really like. How much do you actually know about crypto?
I know enough to probably get myself in trouble. My coworkers are obsessed with it as of late, so I've gleaned a bit from them as well.
All right, so I'm going to get to the point. I'm pretty sure you've heard of this thing called Dogecoin, right?
Yeah, I've heard of Dogecoin.
And so, yeah, when we were watching the SNL skit, a couple of things I noticed, like just going chronologically from where we saw it. What do you think of the opening skit there? Like just the entire, like, this is my mom thing. It's Mother's Day. Some people love their mothers and stuff like that. And it is Mother's Day pretty much the day when the video comes out. But I don't know. I didn't really watch I personally didn't watch SNL to, see people like say hi to their mothers and like, praise their mothers and stuff like that. I watched SNL for one specific reason. But what was your reasoning?
I mean, for me, SNL, the main reason I ended up watching it, of course, was Elon Musk. The Mother's Day thing I felt like was a time filler just because I felt like it kept going on with similar gags or the whole bit. They didn't write me a joke, that thing. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel funny, and I don't know why. Like, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen SNL in a while. But some just didn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, shows like SNL, they just kind of they get some jokes good, but they're not like always funny. And to be honest, like comedy nowadays, it's so hard because of all the. You would think it's easier because it's like, comedy was always meant to be offensive, but people just, I don't know, the sensitivities change. It's just really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The first half, I felt like they were kind of teasing us because like I kept expecting Elon to pop up somewhere during that like opening skit because they typically have like an opening skit where they do something and then like Elon's there or their guest host would be there and then they just pop up as like, oh my God, it's just live from New York. It's Saturday Night Live with Elon Musk and stuff. And they kept trying to push it back.
Okay, so that wasn't just me, because that's what I was used to with SNL. Is usually they do a bit and then they lead into it, and the host starts up with live from New York. It's Saturday night, and then they lead into it. So it's not just me then.
Like I think that the only person that actually benefited from this is that I think it's actually Elon because I don't remember what Rita was saying. She was saying something about like them showing up in the Cybertruck, and like Ford and GM are one of the biggest like spenders and ad money in the world, and well, don't quote me on that because I can't really warrant the completeness of that. But she was saying that they were one of the top 5 biggest spenders in advertisement. Then Elon just rolls up in like a Cybertruck, and it's just free advertising. And all these like skits are basically they were designed to kind of like promote what he's doing. But how did you feel about it?
I mean, a lot of it was definitely space themed. That was probably a big bit for Elon. I think he did benefit greatly from this bit, not just on the Cybertruck thing. I also think the skit with Mars was actually probably a big one as well.
Oh no, we're not there yet.
Oh no.
All right. I'm gonna skim through this because I didn't want this to be too long. But okay,
that's fine.
So when they finally showed us Elon, I love this joke about he's the first person with Asperger's to host SNL, or at least the first one to admit it. that was actually kind of funny.
Okay, because I have a legitimate question. Does he have Asperger's? Because I actually legitimately questioned, does he have that? I was like, wait, really?
I think he kind of has something like that, like some sort of social awkwardness. But honestly, like he he carries himself well, and obviously the money thing is always going to give everybody a good impression of you, right? Because they think it's just a weird psychological effect. People act differently around rich people, especially popular rich people. But I love his joke when his mom came out, and it was he's like, I make some of the world's best electric vehicles, and I send people to Mars, and I offend you. Did you really think that I was going to be a normal dude? like he didn't apologize for that.
I did appreciate that. That was actually a really good shot there.
I also love the one where he's just like, yeah, so, and also I named my son this, and how you pronounce it is basically a cat running across a keyboard. I'm like, damn it. I really want to know how to pronounce it.
Right. The AEX-11 or what have you. I was like, and it's pronounced cat running across the keyboard. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then when his mom came out, everybody was waiting for it, right? And his mom was the first to mention it, where it's just like, yeah, I hope you got me a Mother's Day gift. And she said that, yeah, I hope it's not Dogecoin. And I don't know if anybody's was actually like paying express attention, but basically when she said that, like basically when Elon went on, right, the Dogecoin market basically just like took a fat dump. Like it just took a massive dump, and then finally when Elon came up, it just kind of staggered for a little bit. We're right around, I think somewhere around here. Yeah, somewhere around here, I think. I don't know what the... Oh, wait. Actually, hang on. Let me change the time zones. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is the closest one. So right around here is when SNL started. And then we just took a massive dump going into it with the opening skits because everybody kept saying, like me, where the hell is Elon? And people were just getting impatient and they were just getting out. Like, I think it was like 3 million. Yeah, I think this was about 3 million Dogecoin just transacted at that point when like that dump was occurring. But then when they saw Elon again, it just kind of regained a little bit of hope. And then, you know, they went to commercial break and people were getting even more impatient. Then we had this like little drop here, but the hospital skit afterwards, like it had some good bits of making fun of like Gen Zers, but I don't know. What do you think of it?
Honestly, man, I felt like a lot of it was just drug on. I felt kind of bad for Gen Zers because it's like, because I'm part of the millennial generation. I felt like they spent a lot of time on the lingo and bits on it, and they could have had a lot more fun with it by doing like the doctor coming out and like speaking normally. And it would have, like, I've heard better bits out of it from an abridged anime series. For example, like Code Meant, where they did like Warehouse 8, where they got all the refrain. Tamaki, I don't know what kind of hip lingo it is you kids use, but let's just call it meth like everyone else. Like, that would have sold well if the doctor was speaking normally and then the Gen Zers were like misunderstood, but they all spoke it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, wait, I got my timestamps wrong. So this candle here was when that whole thing started, and then this huge downward movement was during the hospital, the TikTok hospital skit that they did, because I wrote this where it said that his hospital skit was hilarious. Doge got smacked during the hospital skit, but then got really bodied after that skit went down to commercial because people are getting impatient. So, and then so then after that into, let's see. Oh yeah, so right around that hospital skit, a little bit afterwards, apparently Robinhood went down. I can't confirm this, but Robinhood limited buying, and they were saying that they were down.
That doesn't surprise me even in the slightest.
I'm surprised people are still using Robinhood. Like, not very. If anybody's still promoting it, they're just like they are essentially the boomers. Like, I don't know what to tell them.
It's not just that. All of my coworkers are doing it too. Like they still use Robinhood. They're even talking about using Webull and a few other ones. Specifically, just anything to trade crypto at this point is what they're going for.
All right. During a lot of the commercial breaks and stuff like that, like I can see a lot of stagnation, and then let's see. So right around, yeah, during the commercial breaks, people are really impatient. So right around here-ish was when Doge was continuing down, but then they brought up that whole news anchor segment thing where Elon came out finally, and they were literally trying to explain cryptocurrency to them. And the joke of the bit was that basically it's just like, but what is Dogecoin? And in your words, what do you think Dogecoin is?
Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency. I would treat it the way a lot of my coworkers treat it, and the way that I see it is, it's basically like a number in your bank account. It's not actual physical money, but it's technically money, and that's what a lot of people are using it as. So the bit they did about, so it's the hustle. I mean, yes and no. It's a hustle in the sense of it's a way that people can get money and make money. But it's not a hustle in the sense of they're deceiving people. Like SNL, I felt like that's how they portrayed it almost.
Honestly, from like if I didn't know nothing about Dogecoin, I think they chopped it up, because I know most of these bits don't have a lot of time, right? I think they chopped it up and explained it very simply, very quickly. But when you like, I knew about cryptocurrencies like back when Bitcoin was like at $100, right? And that stuff was just a mess before, because everybody that said they knew anything about digital currencies, they didn't know anything about it, because like they didn't say anything until after a big event occurred. Like, for example, when Mt. Gox happened, everybody's just saying like, oh well, you got to keep all your crypto on offline wallet, or like you have to own your private keys and all these sort of things. It's an utter mess. What they did was they basically like introduced people a little into it. But honestly, I think both of them, I think that and the monetary system that we have nowadays are like very similar, because if I was to explain if I was to explain to you the entire monetary system, I'm pretty sure you would fall asleep. I think that's the same for crypto. But yeah, so anyway, so moving on to like let's see, yeah. So the bit ends with him just saying it's basically it's a side hustle. They also made the remark to the moon at around the 26-minute marker after midnight, and it basically dumped a little bit, but it came right back afterwards because, well, it's Elon. So where it actually did kind of recover a little bit was the one that you mentioned earlier, the Elon Mars colony thing, which is I think it was actually kind of funny.
I will admit that was probably the best skit out of the group. Like that was genuinely like, okay, you got me on a few of those.
And the Dogecoin market really liked it too, because like we did see this like little recovery into it, right? And honestly, like I think that if they made the entire show that type of theme, I think it would have been perfect. But I think that was way too short lived, because we loved that skit, and at least me, Rita did. But okay, yeah. So then after that, it was a Western skit, which I kind of laughed, because he's just like, what if we drilled a hole underneath them and we just came up and surprised them, because they're always expecting a direct attack. But then it was like they were talking about like, yeah, aren't you the guy who makes like the electric horses and stuff like that? And he's just like, yeah, it's charging outside, and they have the whole Tesla charging station and everything. And they're basically talking about like Elon's shenanigans or feats or like essentially his companies and stuff. But what did you think?
Honestly, a lot of the Western thing was very interesting. It kind of made sense that it was doing the bit with Elon. The parts that stuck out to me most was actually the bit that Elon had with the prostitute, as well as the remark at the end of the skit with like, what, the closing song is about Earl, but I'm making the new West. Like that fourth wall break was actually really nice.
God, I love the one where it's just like, it's like, why are we using gold? Why can't we why can't we just use some sort of crypto, like some sort of digital currency or whatever? And he's just like, the guy responding to Elon's basically like, yeah, no, the whole point is to get gold. And then we get these little paper things, and they'd rather use the paper things than the gold. And then it's like, okay, well, what about the digital currencies? Then it just went back to Earl. And
right.
I love the ending part where it's just like, yeah, well, you suggested, we robbed these people, and then you were the only one that didn't wear a mask. And like whoever wrote that, like they did their research on Elon, but I felt like that last skit was kind of weak because I don't know. It felt like they just kind of ran out of ideas and were just rehashing the previous skits. There wasn't anything new. I think they could have.
That was.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
That was a big thing that I noticed throughout SNL is that it was rehashing the same jokes. It was mostly, make fun of white people, take a couple shots at Republicans, and then basically, and Elon's here too.
Honestly, I think a smarter way for them to do it would have been. Elon's a very interesting person, right? So, how many skits did they have? Like 1, 2, 3, 4 skits or something?
Let's see. They had the bit with the moms at the beginning. They had the Iceland show.
Yeah.
They had the news segment. They had the Mars segment. They had the Western. I feel like there's one other skit that I might be missing.
No, I think that's it. About five. So here's the way I would have actually broken it down, right? So the first one, I would have did a callback. So any sort of like relevant Tesla news, like anything to do with their EV stuff like that, right? That would have been a very EV focused skit. Maybe even the Cybertruck, like baseball through the window sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Second one would be anything SpaceX related and Mars related. Oh, actually, no. Let's go to ascending order. So first to do with the Boring Company. So his like little hyperspace, not hyperspace, but hypertransit underground thing. And then going to the above ground stuff, we can do Tesla, there's solar stuff, or the Cybertrucks and all that sort of stuff. The third one, basically his space stuff, maybe Starlink or something like that. But I don't think people really know too much about Starlink, but good way to segue into it. And then the fourth one would be about Mars. And then the fifth one, maybe anything about crypto, Doge, cryptocurrency, because people are going to be staying around for all that stuff, right? But I mean, you can pepper in the Doge stuff there before, but I think those could have been really like 5 solid segments that they should have explored. But they basically I felt like they just kind of like used up all their ammo in the first probably 2 or 3 skits, and then it's just like that's it.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. A bulk of it, honestly, I feel like was really, really spent on the news segment more than anything else because it was just rapid fire jokes. And honestly, it was a lot of hit and miss. Some were decent, some were way off. Like the million pounds of meth, I was like, okay, guys, this is a bit oof. The
golfing one, I was just like, I mean, after that, Elon, you should have just cut it off there after the whole Elon bit there with the Dogecoin and stuff like that. And I was like, whatever. But
yeah, they did the golf bit. It's bad when the other actor, like literally when he makes the joke with Mulligan, and you just hear the other dude in the background, Jesus. And I'm like, oh, dude, ooh.
Yeah. But I think it's about half an hour since they finished. And apparently Robinhood's still down right now. That's the rumor right now. I haven't confirmed the news, and I'm too lazy to do that right now.
I tell you what, let me take a look here because I think I have Robinhood on my phone because, again, coworkers are like, oh, you got to get it. All I got was the free stock. I'll confirm that for you. Actually, it's in the news for Robinhood itself. It's overwhelmed by the Dogecoin sell-off after the SNL mention. So it's after the plummet, basically, is what happened.
People are still trying to buy this. So, okay. So, when I do my videos, I usually like have everything considered and everything, right? And I usually do like a final thoughts. So what are your final thoughts on like Elon's SNL appearance, what it means for the future of crypto? Do you see a future in crypto, and anything else you want to add to that?
For Elon's SNL appearance, I do agree with you. I feel like he was underused. There could have been so much more for it. Mm-hmm. As for the future of crypto, right now, I would say it's not there yet. It can be there, but it's going to take a lot more time. Right now, there's just not enough behind it, really. Whether it's a physical monetary thing or even a company, there's just not enough behind it to make it valuable yet. So give it time, that may change. But right now, I think we're kind of in the early stages, and everyone's trying to get that on the hype train real early because they think it's a get money quick scheme, and it's really not.
What do you think of Dogecoin specifically, though?
Dogecoin, I feel like it's the same thing with the GameStop incident that happened like earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. I feel like right now everyone's trying to use it as, I hate to do this, but I'm going to quote actually a little bit from the book I've been reading recently. It's called The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. And I think it's the reason why Doge has gained steam and why GameStop gained steam. largely this whole bit has been essentially a way for hope for people who feel that they're screwed over by either the stock market or just in general with this whole mess with, COVID and all the craziness that's transpired in the year. That's why people are going so hard on this and for it, because they believe their lives are irreparably screwed over from this. And digging into these stocks, digging into these joke coins and crypto is a way for them to dig themselves out of the mess that they're in. And it's hope for them. And I can kind of see why it's gone so much to the point where there's a huge amount of hype and obsession for it.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better than myself. Like, I think anything Elon does is a hilarious PR stunt, and it only does to serve him well. I do like cryptocurrency. Like, people seem to think I'm a hater and stuff like that, but honestly, I only like stuff that's actually useful. That's just the way I am. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys like this sort of format, I might actually drag him back in here. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, just remember, just because you're a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every single day.